It's 11:20. We need to be at Dean's at 12.
We're like literally leaving the house now, so we should be within 45 minutes. Oh my god, get away from my moustache.
Every time we have something important to do, the day before we get pissed.
Oh yeah. Because we get excited.
It's like we get excited, let's just get pissed. Oh.
We're gonna be fine.
How long's the train? How long's the train?
40 minutes.
In the heat.
We'll be fine. It's overground. Oh, fuck, man. I don't know where my keys are. My room's a fucking mess. My keys. Keys. Oh, they're probably in my jacket. Found the keys.
Found the f***ing keys, they're underneath the goddamn couch.
I'm not taking you.
She's lost her keys again. Oh.
Let's go to Dean Callan. With us, we're very like, ask us anything, we're not going to get offended. You know, if you don't ask us things, like, how are you going to know, right?
Exactly.
And if you're precious about it, like,
what are you using to record? What software on the phone?
Does you its own thing.
Oh, it's what?
Just its own camera.
hey guys, welcome to the Pump Room. Well, the Dean Callan show as well. Like, it's a crossover episode. How amazing is that? I'm here with Dean, and obviously Ali is here as well. Say hi, Ali. Yeah, so enthusiastic. Yeah, we've just come to check out your place, Dean, and also have a cheeky bev. So what we have in front of us is a Vedita, which is a chaser a Vedita, which is a chaser to tequila, which consists of fresh pineapple.
You have to edit that bit out.
Yeah, he does.
Didn't give him much space.
Which is a Vedita, which is a chaser for tequila, which consists of coriander, mint, jalapenos, and pineapple, fresh pineapple. And I've strained this and all that kind of stuff. So this is the chaser, and Dean is going to pick the tequila.
Okay.
Let's see if he goes cheap. Jose Cuervo, yeah, our faves, babes. Well,
Isn't all tequila kind of expensive? Do you want mezcal? Do you want mezcal?
no, look at the tequila. He's being a cheeky.
Oh, sorry, you know Guillermo de Souza that makes it?
Yeah.
He stood right there and did his first ever sabrage. I've never shown anyone the video, but he stood there and we taught him how to savor a bottle and he shot the cork off the top, thought the champagne come out, and he was the happiest man ever. In fact, I'll send you the video and then you can cut to that.
Yeah. Yes.
And it'll be the first time anyone's seen it, probably even Guillermo, because I never shared it, but it was really cool. So I've got like, you look down here, we used to have like a little string that went on the end of there, and then you put the string onto the end of the cork and you'd go like that, and the string would stop the cork from breaking anything, but actually they never break. What's wrong? Are you okay?
Listen, we need to get you like chopping a lemon.
What are we getting? Are we drinking?
We are drinking.
We're getting
You
distracted
brought out a really pretty knife.
Pretty shiny thing.
Oh.
Danger zone. Wow. I'm actually like, I can smell this.
Right? So we drink the tequila first, and then we chase it with the Vedita. Here's your hat.
Oh, okay, do I have to wear it?
No, you do not. Right. Are you ready? Yeah.
Stop clapping into the f***ing mic.
Tequila first, and then we're going to chase it down with this lovely green stuff that I've made. We had these last night at home bar with Rasa. She is queen of Veditas and queen of everything. Previously worked at Trailer Happiness, and now she is, God, I don't want to say landlady, but she's like the boss, the goddess of home bar. Cheers, guys. Cheers at home.
That is delicious.
That's something my
That's
face.
so good.
Right, babes. Woo! It's got like a nice
Really
heat
good
to it.
though.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay,
That's cool with you, man. Obviously, you've been a global brand ambassador for Mike Shoulder. You've also had like quite a lucrative career as well. You've also bartended at Milk and Honey for a time, and like they're known for their insane specs and trainings. I actually have them. Yeah, I have their specs. I have the actual training manual and stuff, and I think you're actually in it as well. I'm not sure. They've got like people that they've pinpointed. I think you're in it. Obviously, becoming a global brand ambassador, it can be incredibly exciting, but also like a little bit lonely, and there's just a lot you can experience. But what's
the magic number?
what's like? I'm gonna give you three, but what have been your three countries where you're like, God, like you've never been to, and you're like, this is like it for me?
Oh, it's so hard.
It's impossible. Of the trips I had, Japan blew my mind, but not what you think. So you go to like, you think of Japan, or I did. This is my preconception that I had. 2006, look it up. Angus Winchester shared a video on social media, which was still quite new, social media, of someone hand carving an ice ball.
Yeah.
And Angus in the video is like, and like he can't breathe, splooshing in his trousers. Like he was just loving it.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? And he's just losing his mind. And we all lost our minds. Like people carve ice, and everyone's like, you can't use your hands with ice. They're like, we use our hands to eat our sushi. We clean our hands. There was this whole debate. Clear ice was like a bigger thing, but they were all white jackets, Ginza style bartending. You know, like if you assumed that all bartenders in the country of Italy were like the Italian bartenders at the Connaught, suited, booted. Wasn't the case. Went to Japan and went to lots of really cool little dive bars down laneways. Went to bars where we were like, do you guys have ice for the gin and tonics? And they're like, huh? Like, we were like, wow. You know, and the room is like, you know, you're just like, wow, there's people smoking tons of weed in here and super chilled skaters, you know, with big baggy jeans and vans that had been ripped up. Not what you'd seen shared internationally.
Yeah.
But I went to a bar and I love classic cocktails, and I thought I knew what classic cocktails could be, how far they could come. And I went to a bar where a guy had worked that bar for 22 years. It was his bar. He'd always worked there every single night. No music. People just sat down and just, they had a drink, and the drink was the thing. And I did the whole tourist thing.
Oh, what drink do you make well?
Because I've read about Hiratsugu Ueno-san. He makes a white lady very well, and he said that every bartender has their drink that they're good at, and that's what they specialize in. And he was like,
all the drinks.
Cool, man. But what drink, like what class? And he just went back and forth, and I was like, I hadn't had a sidecar in a long time. And sidecar's hard to get right. In this day and age, it's kind of a frowned upon drink, but I think it's one of those things. Don't on a drink, just try to make it well. Try to like take the inspiration for it, modernize it. This guy made a sidecar that blew my mind. Like, I was like, that tasted so good. This is what happened. Can I have another sidecar? And then I'm watching him. Watch everything he did. And he had different freezers with different ice at different frozen temperatures. So some just under freezing and then some minus 20 below that. And then he had plastic shakers, steel shakers, different shapes of shakers. And he put different amounts of ice into the shakers to create different atmospheric pressure inside to get different dissolved oxygen. Like, this guy's nuts. He paid a shipbuilding company €5,000 that they build ships that break through icebergs. He realized that they were experts in the interaction between steel, water, air, and ice. So he hired them, gave them his shakers, and said, figure out what's the best way to shake to get this interaction. And guy was amazing. He's a skater. No one talks about him in Japan. They're like, oh, whatever. But every drink he made, I then stayed there, tried all the classic. Every drink he made was just so amazing, like so on point, so perfect. Blew my mind. So that Japan.
This story is
blowing
my mind. It
was in Osaka. No white jacket, super chilled. Guy was like relaxed. So that preconception I had turned on its head. And then to make it shorter for the next two, Poland. No one talks about how good Polish bartenders are. Fastest bartenders. Like they can flare, they know mixology, they're marrying them together perfectly. So they've got pace, they've got energy. I feel like it's going to blow up market. And they're so good. I had such a good time in Poland. I think they were largely underestimated and underrepresented. And obviously, like, another one was the first couple of trips to Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore looks amazing.
Singapore was so cool. Like the first trip, there was a couple of bars, and they had so much promise and so much passion, so much energy and money behind them. And then you go back a year later, and it's like there's 3 times as many bars. So Singapore, as a global brand ambassador, was amazing. And then outside of that, before I started global brand ambassador, China's like totally different culture, massive. Like we think we drink, Chinese drink.
Baiju's like their big thing, isn't it? And then
Baijiu,
if you go to like sort of South Korea, soju.
They're big as well.
Soju is their
Exactly.
big thing, and
Yeah.
like I got into soju the last year, and like it's like my favourite thing to drink,
Yeah.
and there's not enough of it
And
in the
there's
UK.
so much depth and so much character and so much flavour and so much like unknown.
Naughty water is
Yeah.
what we call it, because you can just have like 3 bottles of it and just like.
So their market, that's the kind of thing I love. And that's the kind of thing that most blew my mind when I went to market. But there's loads of places that I've been to. I'm probably forgetting a couple of really amazing trips. Oh yeah, Ukraine.
Really?
Oh my god, Ukraine was epic. So when Ukraine was still a little bit scary, I went with Stuart Hudson. You know Stuart Hudson, right?
Yeah.
So went to Ukraine with Stuart Hudson. First of all, Stuart didn't get in. And right, I'm not joking. We get to the airport, Irish passport. Bam, there you go, buddy. You're cool. Hudson, Australian passport. You know, have you ever watched a TV show where they're like, "You're not allowed in, mate. Go back to where you came from." You know, like, and there's
Border
like the whole
force.
border force.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. That's probably not boding well for tourists leaving Australia and wanting to travel to other countries, because the border patrol at Ukraine were like, "Nope." And Hudson couldn't get in, but I was right in front of him in the line, right? So I cruised through, and then I go to glass panels with him on the other side being like, Irish passport, and his friends, the security guards were like, "Who's your friend?" He didn't get let in. And then someone made a call, we don't know who to, and I got him a visa, like dodgy. And he got in. And then we went to a bar, and we went to loads of different bars, but there was this underground bunker, and it was like 3 stories down, and you went down these stairs that felt like an exit, like a fire escape.
Yeah.
And it was still being built, hadn't quite opened yet. It was a couple of stories down. It was like, you go under, and we're underground in no windows, and there's a big long bar, and they're doing classic style cocktails. And there's people all the way across in booths on the other side. And me and Hudson jumped behind the bar to do a guest shift. We both ordered a bottle of Salon Blanc, I think it was, of champagne each, and put it on crushed ice. And then we're like drinking Manhattans and stuff like that. And, you know, it was how we rolled, because we worked 7 days a week and traveled 30 countries in 10 months. To keep us going, we're doing that. There's 2 kids sat in front of us, and they ordered waters and just sat there and were watching us. And it turned out they were bartenders from 4 hours away that didn't have enough money for a hotel room, didn't have enough money to stay anywhere, and they were getting a train back early in the morning, but like they didn't have enough money for cocktails. And it was like they just heard that famous bartenders or whatever were coming over and wanted to learn. So they sat in front of us, and they felt so guilty not being able to pay. Or they were like, "Oh, we know we should order, but we're bartenders." And I was like, "Dude, don't worry if you don't have any money. I have a corporate expense account." So I bought them cocktails. They were all monkey shoulder cocktails anyway. Made them cocktails all night, chatted to them, gave them little glasses, mini glasses, little cubes of champagne. Young kids loving it. Then the power went out, but there was no backup. Now, think about this for a moment. You're in Ukraine. It's currently like classed as a war zone. You were warned not to go there. There's like a big kind of drop blackout, and you're underground in a bunker. What do? Everyone's phones start coming on. There's no backup lighting coming on. Everything's dead. Tills everything. I had this thing called Dinky Disco, which is Bluetooth powered speakers. I grabbed the Dinky Disco, Hudson lighting going and everything. They got a piece of paper and a pen, and I said to them, "I will pay for everyone's drinks if everyone just stays where they are, just write down what we're getting, and we're going to make everyone like shoulder drinks, send them out to their tables, right?" And the owner, who hated us at the time, was like, "Who are these people?" And we put music on. We didn't know if something bad had happened. So as far as we were concerned, the world had ended outside. And we were sat in an underground bunker in the dark, making drinks by candlelight. And obviously people's iPhones lights. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
We should have a, do you mind?
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Do you want to have a little taster with me?
I would love to.
You know what Age of Legends tastes like, but this is like a friendshipy thing. So this was given to me by John Lemaire the last time he was in London. Every little bit of that bottle has been like a 10-15 ml measure that I've given to someone who's come to the cabin, who might be from a different country or they might be from the UK, that I've gotten along with and thought, this person's cool. And more importantly, no matter what I do, this person's not going anywhere in the industry. So we're probably going to be hanging out a lot more in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
Thank
interestingly, I've been giving it to people because it wasn't available in the UK for so long, and now you're here. When does it? It's launched and
It's
ready to
here.
go. When,
We're here.
And you're out doing the Band Ambassador thing already.
Yeah, it started.
It's on.
I'm
Right,
here.
very
We're
good.
here and we're doing it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So do we want to make that Angel's Envy old fashioned?
I think we should.
Is the word overkill? Just because you f***ing can? I'm making an Angel's Envy old fashioned.
I don't know, I think it's just like
With Jägermeister cold brew, because I can. What's the hometown of this?
Wolfenbottle.
So we'll call it a Wolfenbottle. I don't do accents very well, obviously. What would your spec normally be?
10 and 40.
10 and 40.
Yeah, per drink.
Do we have a second one? We got a second one? Is that
We have a
right?
second one. And then do you have chocolate bitters?
Yep.
Dark chocolate's like a tasting note for Angel's Envy, but also cacao nib is used in cold brew, so it complements each other quite well.
Oh, it's chocolate on chocolate.
Chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, racks and racks and racks, stacks and stacks and stacks.
And we want some sugar in there?
Well, the cold brew is actually insanely sweet, so you can like dash to taste, but I'd give it a taste first.
Very much. I don't have a sweet tooth. I'm like a giant
Me too.
child.
Do you have Mozart? Is this you saying that you have Mozart, which is a really high flex?
Oh, no, I don't have
Mozart chocolate bitters. You can't find it anywhere.
I used to have Mozart chocolate bitters, but I'm pretty sure it's gone.
Aha! Oh, yes. 5 dashes. And so for all of it. 2.
These are going in rocks glasses.
Is that yours?
I don't play that game, it's really funny. But I'll do it for you, and then I'm screwed because I've actually spent 10 years or whatever it is being like, no matter how many people did that, I've gone, no, I never played the game. Never got down and done it. But I do have one caveat to that.
Okay.
There's a Smirnoff Ice Pineapple, and if someone finds Smirnoff Ice Pineapple and ices me with Smirnoff Ice Pineapple,
I will find it.
I will do it. Do it for you
I've got-
guys
I've got-
because this
I've
is
got
on
one
camera.
better
And
for
I don't want to. Oh,
Does that count?
touche.
Smirnoff Ice
Is
pineapple.
it cold? Can we cold?
It's warm. Could be a bit sweeter.
Right? I thought that. But it's like low. It's the 50 bricks. It's an A. What if you found a Bols dark cacao liqueur, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you Bols, as in BOLS, and then you made a drink. It was based around Bols chocolate liqueur, but had other things like bourbon, whatever.
Not better.
And you put a hint of salt in it, and you called it chocolate salty Bols.
I'm leaving. So about that smell of pineapple that you have behind you,
Oh,
which
yeah.
you can't really shy away from. So
right.
you have been well and truly iced, my friend. So this is your first icing in how many years?
As long as I've known.
Let's do it. You got this. Down in one, Dean.
I'm more concerned about people doing it in the future.
Holy sh!
It's so bad.
That was so fast.
You've seen people are enraged by lemon drops coming back.
Oh, right. So
How
like
can you make a lemon drop badly?
a big pet peeve of mine is a bartender who thinks they're too good to make a certain drink.
Yeah.
So
me
like
too.
for me,
Trust me.
I went to the Savoy for my birthday once and got served by Joe, who was like the assistant bar manager at the time, or bar manager. Awesome guy, and he knows I love Midori sours, and he'd come to us, see and drink woo-woos and stuff, and rad dude. Birthday, come to Savoy, I get a Midori sour put out in front of me at the American bar.
At the Savoy.
Yeah, at the Savoy, and I'm like, yeah, like
No one's too good for a drink. Especially if the drink's been around longer than you've been alive, you know?
It's those bars
You
that
have no
refuse to do mojitos and porn stars.
Oh, do you want a story about a bar that refused to do a fucking mojito?
Yeah?
Okay.
Great story.
I go to a bar with my dad. I'll keep it as short as possible. The bar is the 69 Culver Road, right?
Yep.
I went with my dad. My dad sees that it's a cocktail place, doesn't drink cocktails. He drinks whiskey and pints of Guinness. My dad's about your height, thick, and he's tough. You know, he's from Dundalk in Ireland. And we go in there, sits down, sees this cocktail bar. Waitress comes over, waitstaff comes over, says like, oh, what can I get you? And I said, you know, I'll get I think it was a hanky-panky or something like that. Electra ordered a drink and he ordered a mojito. The response was,
we don't do mojitos.
I was like, guys, you can make pretty much any classic drink, right? And she said, yeah, because he shattered inside. He just didn't know what to say. And I was like, oh, you guys can make any kind of classics, right? Yeah. Do you make a Southside Fizz?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm like, cool, okay. Can I get a Southside Fizz? But instead of gin, can you put rum in it? And then they were like,
Yeah, not a problem.
she went away. She comes back.
Yeah, we can't do the Southside Fizz with rum.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, you guys can do daiquiris or like a light rum fizz, right? Yeah. Can you do that? But with like, can you do a daiquiri but with like a hint of mint in it and soda?
Oh, okay.
Bartender behind the bar. He come out and went, I'm so sorry. We don't actually have mint. But the way it was portrayed at first was like, mojitos are beneath us. So they made my dad a daiquiri with mint soda. The instinct to punch the bartender. I will have a conversation, it will go back and forth, and there'll be so many variations of other drinks that end up being a mojito because of one variant. Screw the pretentious attitude. It's never going to get you anywhere. Customers aren't always right, but bartenders can definitely be wrong. Yeah, sorry to talk. I'm going to try to keep it short and neat.
Whip pan.
Whip pan. How long did it take to build this interior?
Interior, that's a good way to phrase that. Because the outside took a day. But see that there's a TV there in the middle, right? And you can see that the roof comes down, the pent roof comes down.
Yeah.
It only was built to there. And then I extended it out with like extra bits of wood that I purchased from B&Q because I'm a proper chippy. But it took 6 years, I guess. 2014 we moved in. December 2014 we put this in. And actually the final payment on the loan I took out to pay for all of this stuff was last month. It's actually just paid for. And it was £327 a month for all that time.
Oh my god. And you're moving. But
it hasn't escaped. No, but that pays for all that stuff inside. There's quite a bit of stuff inside.
this is a phenomenal space. Like, we've seen some really phenomenal spaces, and how many bottles? Like, I know you have loads of bottles in the house. I know you have some like hidden away, but like on your back bar, how many bottles do you think you have? Do you have like a ballpark figure of price range if you put them all together?
Keeps going down because but there was a point where all the stuff that was unopened, that was expensive for the sake of being expensive. Right? So, for example, I had a couple of bottles of Macallan Easter Elkies. The Macallan Easter Elkies is a collector's edition Macallan. It's not a drinker's edition, it's a collector's edition. It's almost a waste of time to drink it. Just sell it and then drink 8 bottles of something really nice. And you'll still have a couple of £1,000 left over. So I got all the collecting stuff out and put them in storage because I kind of figured I have a son now. So either when he turns 18, he has the most expensive 18th birthday party that none of his friends are going to understand. Or he can sell the stuff at auction, like he can put them away. It'd be quite nice if the booze actually did something for other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's about 400 or so. Because if you have to count all this and that, and these ones as well, if they count as background, there's like this one. And actually under the seat where you are is completely all booze. And then all behind all the books is booze as well.
Wow.
It's like, if you ever see me going over to the books and like shifting through trying to find something, it means that it's stuff that's really nice to drink, but I'm trying to hide it from Stuart Hudson.
So
he'll come in here and just drink all the absolutely irreplaceable rare stuff.
what made you do this? What made you go like, I'm gonna build a bar? And then like there's one thing building a bar, and which we have done, and then there's like that other thing of starting a show. So what was your thought process of starting the Dean Callan show?
First thing, home bar. Might sound weird, but I wanted to be a bartender since I was 14 years old, right? So in my mind, there were 3 jobs that I would be good at. One of them was copywriter. I wanted to write ads. Had a whole plan for writing ads for McDonald's when I was like 13, 14. Never gonna happen. The other one was a like military helicopter pilot, where I would like save people's lives by flying through buildings and stuff in like cities and like landing in the hardest thing and like, get him in the back, get to the chopper, you know, like get out of there. I would assume that I'd either be really good at the military or really bad. And then bartending. So I wanted to be a bartender since I was 14. So as soon as I like had a space, since the age of 15 years old, I had a bar in my house. And my first ever bar had Jim Beam White Label, butterscotch schnapps and Baileys. And my shot of choice was a cocksucking cowboy, otherwise known as a butterball for those that are so polite they can't say the words cocksucking without blushing, which is really weird.
Cheers.
Right, so where were we? Why the show?
Yeah.
So it started with, I had this idea. What if you took, Monkey Shoulder, the brand I worked for, had no cultural home. It had no like distillery you could go and do a tour of. And if you took people to distilleries in Scotland that were kind of part of the blend, it's not really the true story. So my idea was, we're about mixing and cocktails and fun and experiences. So what if we built a log cabin in the middle of the forest at the back of the distilleries we own on our property, right? And in that log cabin, we put a bar, and it's a wicked bar. Then outside the log cabin, we have some yurts. And every year in the summer, we go camping there. We bring a bunch of bartenders, media, whoever it is. And we have like a couple of days of like a mini festival in the forest in between the distilleries. And in the mornings, we're going for distillery tours and so on. The idea was that I would then build an identical cabin in my back garden, and then they would put the same setup as far as the bar is concerned inside, and the inside of the cabin in my back garden would look identical to the one up in Scotland. And as the global brand ambassador for the brand, I would start a YouTube channel from inside the bar.
Yeah.
I thought it was a brilliant idea. I was like, it's 2011, trying to explain that like people at 25 years are watching more YouTube than they are TV. In 10 years time, YouTube will be huge and we'll have a huge channel by this stage. And then they said no, but I had convinced myself so much that I just took a loan and I did it anyway.
What I find really interesting is like with that idea of like building a cabin in the middle of the woods and then having like a mini festival go to distilleries. Glenfiddich goes off and does that, and they have like the Glenfiddich festival where we go off the wood and go to
They do a thing called Stew and Brew as the food. That was all me.
And then they have Camp Monkey.
The Camp Monkey was me as well.
Yeah.
But Camp Monkey that was what Camp Monkey was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then when we couldn't, you got to understand, building a bar in the middle of the forest, like there's so many legalities that are like, you know, they're a working site. You actually need a safety check to go. You need to wear high vis. Wouldn't it work? Like I only see the positives. So Camp Monkey became us going to festivals. I bought tickets for like 10 tickets to a secret garden party. I bought tickets I didn't buy the tickets. I negotiated tickets to Glastonbury. And we used to just build little tent cities in the camping area at festivals, and we'd have Camp Monkey. That's where Camp Monkey started. And as we had no budget, we can afford a few festival tickets, and I can set up tents for everyone. As it grew, Camp Monkey got bigger and bigger, and better and better. Some ideas evolved, but this, I was like, no, I'm sticking with this. And also, I also noticed I used to train bartenders. That was my thing. I was good at it. And I would train them by putting water in all the bottles, converting them so they look right, like putting Coca-Cola in the Jack Daniels bottle, whatever. And then I'd have our menu list, and I'd have all the bartenders that work in the bar sit across the bar and just order. I'd give them an actual printed order from the night before, and they'd order that. And for 5 minutes, bartenders have to it's a crucible, you know? You have to pump out drinks in front of your peers that also know the drinks. And they got faster and faster and more efficient. They understood the menu better, they understood recipes better. But I noticed as I started traveling around the world that like there's not the same level of training in a small village in the Philippines that there is in London. But because everyone's got access to YouTube, why shouldn't they get access to whatever training is happening in London? So my idea was to start a show. And I started very basic, which might be offensive to the small village in the Philippines, but it was like how to cut a lime, you know? Because I've seen people cutting limes really badly.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I can't shout at people, but until I've told them how I like it. You know what I mean? Like, so when I own my own bar, I want them to have an idea who this guy is. And if you, say we decided to open a bar together, you can literally look at a back catalogue of me just sharing my thoughts. There'd be so many hours that you'd be like, I don't want to work with this guy, or I think I can tolerate this, you know?
Yeah,
you get an idea. So, that was part of it as well. So,
absolutely, man.
Still haven't opened a bar though.
Soon. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Pump Room, which we got to spend with the lovely Dean Callan in his wonderful shed. Oh, Dean is pouring some shots. Don't forget to like and subscribe. New videos every Monday at 10 AM. And Dean has accepted the challenge to come to Pump Room and film with us and deal with our general craziness, mainly mine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can get pins on the website if you've not got a pin yet. I'm really sorry, I've been super busy. I'm posting them. I love you.
Sancho, good night.